Welcome to the TalentGrow Show, where you can get actionable, results-oriented insight and advice on how to take your leadership, communication, and people skills to the next level and become the kind of leader people want to follow. And now, your host and leadership development strategist, Halelly Azulay.
This is the TalentGrow Show, and I am Halelly Azulay, your leadership development strategist, here with episode 17, a special Thanksgiving episode. Here in the U.S., it is Thanksgiving this week, and I am really excited to be celebrating it with my family back on the East Coast. And I wanted to share a little bit of a different episode with you this time. I'm not interviewing anyone. It's just me and the mic and you. And I wanted to talk about gratitude since it's a perfect topic for Thanksgiving. It's something that I've mentioned several times in my blog and recent newsletters. And it's something that comes up again and again that really seems to make a huge difference. It has a major duh factor. We kind of all know about it. But most people that I meet, especially in organizational settings, are really not practicing enough gratitude. So did you know that there are studies that show that people who increase their practice of gratitude are 25% happier? For example, if they keep a gratitude journal and they sleep a half hour more per evening and they exercise 33% more each week compared to people who are not keeping a gratitude journal. So I'm going to teach you how to do that actually in a few minutes. This comes from a book called Gratitude Works, 21-day program for creating emotional prosperity. The idea of a gratitude journal is one that's been around for a while, and I've talked about it in my blog before. I linked it in the show notes. But I think it's just so profound because it is so simple and it makes such a huge difference. So it's one of the techniques that I want to share with you today. I want to share with you one other technique for becoming more grateful and as a result, becoming happier. So are you ready? Here we go. A gratitude journal. Every night for the next 2 weeks, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take a nice notebook. If you really want to take this to the next level, get yourself a special notebook, one that's just for this purpose. But honestly, any kind of notebook that you have lying around that maybe you received in a conference or you received as a gift from a company with their logo on it, whatever, it doesn't matter. It can just be a small moleskin. Keep it next to your bed. And every night, set aside time as a habit, no matter what, before you go to sleep, to write in your gratitude journal. And gratitude journal maybe sounds a little bit hokey to you, but you can call it whatever you want. Here's what you do. I like to call this 3 good things because that's kind of a simple way to call this, to name this exercise. So 3 good things, here's how it works. You write down the date and you write down 3 good things about the day. Now, this could be something as mundane as I'm glad I woke up in the morning and had an opportunity to get out of bed and go work. Or it could be something like, I had such a delicious dinner at the restaurant with my friends. Or maybe it was, I'm really grateful today because I get to do work that I love and was able to spend at least 2 hours really engrossed in a flow state where I lost track of time and I was doing something that I really enjoyed. Or it could be, some days it might be as simple as I'm grateful to be alive. So you need to search for at least 3 things about the day for which you're grateful. And especially if you want to make this really meaningful, actually write down why you're grateful for them. And that's it. It doesn't take very long. It'll take 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes max. You just put that down and you go to sleep. This is the last thing you do before you go to sleep. Now, you have to keep this up for at least 2 weeks for this to really take a good effect because it takes time to build a habit and it takes time for the effects of a good habit to start making their way into your brain because your brain has to build new neuron connections in new pathways where they didn't exist before. But wouldn't it be amazing if you did this every night to actually become happier as the science shows? I think it's so worthwhile, but I'll tell you something else. What you'll find, and tell me if this is true, I'd love to hear from you. What you'll find is that you're going to start noticing throughout your day the things that you can be grateful for. Because when you give your brain a task, like your brain knows it's on the hook for the gratitude journal, and it knows that you're expecting to be able to write 3 things down. And I tell you, it might be hard the first 2 days or so because your brain's not really used to thinking that way, and it's not used to noticing those things for which you're grateful, and certainly not consciously noticing them or marking them in your brain for later retrieval. But once you start doing this gratitude journal, your brain's going to be like, oh no, I'm on the hook. I got to get some information so that she or he doesn't feel like they're stuck with me. And your brain's going to look for things and help you find them. So what already happens to you that you already could be grateful for, your brain's going to help you notice it and remember it. Wouldn't that be awesome to go through your day noticing and feeling grateful for what happens to you? Yes, this would be amazing. But you know what else? Your brain's actually going to help you reframe things that maybe otherwise you wouldn't have thought of as something you're grateful for, to help you get enough material for the gratitude journey. So you're actually going to be able to take note throughout the day about what happens to you that maybe wouldn't otherwise fit into that category very neatly of something you're grateful for, but actually reframe it or re-explain it to yourself in your mind as something worthy of your gratitude. And so, in fact, you're going to increase your felt experience of gratitude throughout the day, and you're going to shift your lens for looking at your life to a more grateful one. And this, my friends, will make you happier. So I hope that you will take me up on this challenge and start keeping a gratitude journal. Now, do I really want you to only keep it for 2 weeks? Do you think that you wouldn't really benefit from keeping it for longer? Of course, of course. But you know, baby steps are often all we need. If I told you, hey, start doing this for the rest of your life, you're going to be like, oh, no thanks, Lally. I'm kind of busy. But if I tell you to do something that takes 5 minutes or 10 minutes most for 2 weeks, your brain's going to be like, yeah, I got this. I can do it. So take me up on this challenge. And I do hope that you can experience the difference that it makes and that you'll try to continue doing it. And you can teach this to your loved ones. You can teach this to your children, to your grandchildren. This would be such an awesome kind of thing to spread around. Now, what I can tell you also is that neuroscience, and you know probably by now that I'm a big neuroscience geek, I just love this stuff. Neuroscience now helps us know that the reason this happens is that your brain actually releases chemicals as a result of your feeling gratitude that are the same chemicals used in antidepressants, right? Dopamine, which is a neurotransmitter, is released by the feeling of gratitude. And also serotonin. It's another feel-good hormone that your brain actually shoots into your body when you feel gratitude. So by feeling more gratitude, actually feel better in your body in the very moment. And by increasing that well-being, your life quality will actually get better. So the second practice that I want to share with you today before we wrap it up and maybe go eat some turkey. We don't eat turkey, we eat prime rib. Yummy. Is to do a gratitude letter. Now, this is not something you do every day for 14 days necessarily, okay? But it's something that you do that is so powerful, and it's been written about a lot. A gratitude letter, basically think about someone who's had a really positive effect on you in your life. Maybe it's a teacher, a parent, a loved one, someone influential in work, someone who was a mentor to you, really anyone. And it doesn't have to be somebody that was in your life a long time ago, and it doesn't have to be someone who was in your life for a long time. Just someone to whom you are sincerely and deeply grateful. And you take a nice piece of paper and you handwrite them a letter, not a thank you card, okay? Not like 2, 3 sentences. Thank you letter. And you try to actually describe in detail how grateful you are to them and why they're so special to you. I'm telling you, this is such a powerful exercise just to think about it and just to write it, but it gets better. What you do now, ideally, is you call them up and you make time to meet with them face-to-face or on the phone or maybe on Skype, and you read that letter out loud to them. Can you imagine how they will feel when they hear this story about how grateful you are and specifically why from you? What an amazing thing that you're going to give them as a gift. And they deserve it, right? Because you're grateful to them. But do you think that that might make you feel an even deeper sense of gratitude and well-being? It is so moving. So I did this with my dance teacher, who was really like my second mom. When I was a teenager, I spent all my free time in a dance studio. I was taking lessons and also teaching lessons. And she was a very nurturing figure in my life that gave me things that I couldn't have in a relationship with my mom when I was a teenager. And she gave me a lot of guidance for life, even though it was cloaked in what appeared to be just guidance for how to dance. Learned a lot of things from this woman. Her name is Carol Wilford Bartels. And she taught me things like, I would say, I can't do it. And she said, you don't say I can't do it, Halelly. You say, I'm unable at the moment. All kinds of stuff like that. And so I wrote her this really long letter after many years of kind of losing touch. I mean, I kept in touch with her loosely, holiday greetings and so on. But I sent her this letter. And she was so touched by it and she appreciated it so much. She actually sent me a letter back with her appreciation. So I kind of cheated because I didn't go visit her to read it to her. And I didn't call her. But I did send her the letter. So there's no perfect way to do this. And guess what? It's so much better to send it than not to send it at all. So don't get caught up in perfection. Make it the best that you can and whatever fits into your life and make it happen. It is a moving experience. It makes a huge difference in the well-being, both of the person receiving, of course, but also of the person giving the gratitude. So I hope that you try these ideas, and I hope that you express your gratitude to the people in your life who make a difference, and that you start looking for more and more evidence about how people make a difference for you and how you can thank them. Employees at work, your coworkers, your boss, people that report to you, your clients. Express your sincere gratitude. Try to be as specific as possible and as timely as possible. And your life will change in a really great way and for the better. And you will be happier. So I'd like to thank you for listening to my podcast. I am so honored that you choose to spend time with me. I hope that you've learned from the guests that I've brought so far and maybe from this episode as well. And I'd love to hear what you thought about this. And if you'd like to get more of these kinds of solo episodes, I've been thinking about maybe doing them here and there, or maybe kind of varying between one episode solo and one episode of an interview. But because you listen and you know what you like to hear, I'd love to know. And that way I can make it perfect for you or close to perfect. But I am very, very grateful to you. It is the only reason that I make this podcast. It's kind of a lot of work, but I enjoy it so tremendously. And the idea that you gain benefit from it and gain value from it is what keeps me going. So thank you for listening. I really appreciate you. I hope that if you're celebrating Thanksgiving, that you have a great, great Thanksgiving. And if you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, I hope that you make this a very grateful week. Thank you for checking into the TalentGrow Show. Thank you for your attention and your interest. And make today great.
Thanks for listening to the TalentGrow Show, where we help you develop your talent to become the kind of leader that people want to follow. For more information, visit talentgrow.com.